we doing today? Good? Well, so we have a mixture of students, we have a mixture of parents, and so we're so thankful that y'all are here. My name is Joel. I am one of the student ministry directors and mainly work with our 7th through 12th. Megan is our 5th and 6th. But Mark is on his way down here and he'll take over when he is here, but we wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about a paradigm shift that we wanted to make in student ministry. So for us as a student ministry, we align absolutely with TBC's vision and mission to create fully devoted followers of Jesus. And every time, any program that we do, and any time we reevaluate our programming, that's what we're using to determine whether it's been effective or it's been needs to be tweaked or changed or adapted in some way or another. And so, after a lot of conversation, probably for a year, maybe more, and more recently, a lot more conversation and prayer and discussions with some of our leaders and key volunteers, we are shifting what the focus of Sunday morning programming is going to look like. And so for you parents, there is some research and some trends that are truly really shocking and really astonishing. And us as a student ministry, we want to take the direct initiative to try to curb some of these really shocking numbers. But a vast majority of students who have grown up in student ministry, once they leave after 12th grade, never step foot in a church again. And so we talk to our students about this. They certainly know that that's part of our heart. And so one of the key pieces that we want to combat, hey Mark, you are more than welcome to come. But one of the key pieces that we're looking to combat is keeping our students fully devoted followers of Jesus throughout their life. And one of the things that we've noticed is that as our current programming stands, you can be involved in TSM, Trinity Student Ministry, for 7 years and never once step foot into a corporate worship setting. And so that's also really troubling to us. And so that's something that we want to address as a body, as a staff, and redirect our mission to integrate and have a multi-generational church. And so that's one of the things that we're looking to do. Another is we want to focus on service. And so the statistics also say that those who are involved in serving, and it also works really well with Trinity's Worship Connect, Serve, Multiply model, our students would be able to serve as well as multiply, participate in multiplication as they pour into our mid-high students. That's one change that we would like to make on Sunday, is students leading our 5th and 6th graders, and also students pouring into our 3rd, our 4th, our elementary and preschool ministries. And so Mark, if you want to talk a little more about that.
Good morning, guys. Sorry, I was hosting upstairs. So I think I know what. Have you shared the plan yet?
No.
Okay. So one of the things that we want to do is one of the things that we've noticed with elementary is that we're really struggling finding people serving with elementary and because of COVID. So we're trying to get all of those coming back. So we do want to elevate our students serving in mid-high and elementary. And so one of the things that we want to do is start recruiting students to serve more. So here's the change that we're going to make. We've noticed, some of you guys have younger kids, and we noticed when we were at the 3rd floor of the TCA building for elementary, and you would check your elementary kids in on the 3rd floor of the TCA, you would get a workout because you would check in your preschool kids on the 3rd floor of the preschool wing. And then by the time you did that, you would be 10 to 15, 20, 40 minutes late for service, depending on how things were flowing. And so we made a strategic plan to move elementary from the 3rd floor of the TCA to the preschool wing. And I think, from what I've talked to from parents, they love it. And so the issue right now is we are out of space on the preschool wing. We are packed. And so we've done some praying, we've done some thinking as a team with elementary, with our TSN team, and we want to build TKM, and we think it's the best move to start having our large group for elementary kids in this building. Because we feel, we're looking at a couple of key spots right now, we would love to get a host for our TKM ministry. And that host would be someone high energy, someone that's super fun, that as the kids are walking in for their large group space, can engage the kids in this room, okay? And so we want to take TKM, and we want to make 4th and 5th graders in this building. So that way there's a less of a disconnect for a 4th and 5th grader, or a 4th grader that's maybe like, I'm too old for this, or I'm too young for this. And so what happens is when they hit 4th grade, they're like, I'm too old for this kiddie land thing. And so we think when we start doing small groups for our 4th grade kids in this building, it will definitely help, and it helps bridge the gap. So what we want to do, and that leaves the question for junior and senior high Bible study. We want to take that junior and senior high Bible study, and we want to move it to the 3rd floor of the TCA building. And here's why. Because most junior high and senior high students, hopefully, you can check yourselves in. You can walk over to that 3rd floor of the TCA building. And this was a little bit of a change. And so what we want to do is we want to take that 3rd hour, junior and senior high, we want to move it to the 3rd floor of the TCA building, and we want to take this building over for TKM. And the main reason for this is also security. As our campus control team is perimetering the building and parents are checking kids in, it is so much easier and it's so much safer to have all the kids checking in one spot. And so for parents. And so we want to build our Trinity Kids Ministry on Sunday morning, and we want to keep it in one spot. And so that's ultimately the move for this. We are going to make a shift, and we're going to put a lot more time. And I know that having it on the 3rd floor of the TCA building is not ideal because there is a classroom, there's desks. And so we've spoke with Fred, and Fred's willing to teach it. And I know there was a group of adults that were teaching it. I know that Ryan is here. I know that Brian's here and Josh is here, and they were teaching it. And so I've not had a chance to, because this was a little bit of a change for 3 of them. And so I'm sure they would be willing to teach it again. And so there's a TV screen and there's a sound system, so we'll still have the technology, but ultimately we want to move that Bible study up to the 3rd floor, and we want to change our emphasis into serving for our students on Sunday morning. And so what that looks like for Megan is Megan and Steve would have the opportunity to multiply our students and make mid-high on Sunday morning, for example, almost completely student-led. And so that makes it a different from Wednesday, because right now Wednesday and Sunday are both adult-led. And so we noticed the difference of this with Ashlyn and Haddon Davis. Ashlyn Vauger and Haddon Davis. And so on Wednesday, when we honored them as senior, all the mid-high students were surrounding around them and hanging out with them. And so what happens is we want that to build that community, and also the level of Haddon's been teaching at mid-high the last couple of probably the last year, and his teaching's gotten better. He's gotten more confident in his teaching, and the students are responding well. And so we want to start doing some of that with mid-high on Sunday morning. Okay? Does that make sense? Any questions before I keep